Mars, you have a lot to answer for.
M&ms have been around since 1941, can you believe it? And since then a number of interesting flavours have been established, including peanut, crispy, almond and pretzel, each represented by their own so-called spokes candies, the most prolific being red and yellow, the mascots for the milk chocolate and peanut varieties respectively. And not only that, in 2001 they decided to unleash this monstrosity! Indeed, an M&ms video game on PS1. A game, of course, everyone asked for. Screw you, Wonka, with your Oompa Loompas and your slave labour. I'm going to a different chocolate factory today.
The question is this game an unexpectedly sweet experience, or is it just peanuts? I think I know which one it is.
Well, my yellow fellow, it's time these M&ms had a little R&R.
R&R? Is that a new candy?
Anyway, as you can probably tell, red here is voiced by Billy West,
What's up, dog?
while yellow is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
You serious?
My god, how did they get them to do this?
I seriously hope they weren't paid peanuts for this.
Before they can go on vacation, Red receives a call informing him that Yellow left the M&ms minis in charge of the factory.
Has your chocolate melted? Have you gone completely nuts?
Indeed, they're wreaking havoc, and Red orders us to return to the factory to fix the place ourselves.
Go, go, go!
Yep, the first level is a driving level, which is a horrible idea, as it immediately puts you off the rest of the game. I mean, the rest of the game is pretty terrible too, but the driving here is particularly bad. The car just kind of bounces along, and nobody seems to be able to drive. Don't they realise they have to stay on their own side of the road? They swerve all over the place and leave you very little room to move.
Well, considering the god-awful controls, you can hardly blame them.
I want to go left. Let's go left. Guess we're not going left then. Along the way, you need to destroy some M&ms crates.
That noise isn't going to get annoying at all.
Different coloured crates contain a different number of M&ms minis. Red crates contain 2 minis, orange crates contain 5, yellow crates contain 10, while the blue crates contain 100. Collecting 100 minis earns you an extra life, and considering just how many blue crates there are, it's probably no surprise that you rack up a lot of lives. This is a good thing considering most everything kills you. Yes, that's right, I just crashed into the grass. I wasn't kidding. So anyway, each level is in 3 parts, meaning this first level essentially takes place over 3 levels.
Still following.
Just when you think it's all over, another level begins that's much worse. Oh joy! The final part of each level is a boss. In this level we simply have to avoid a motorcycle mob on the way to the factory. I have no idea who they are or why they want to stop me getting to work, but they prove quite the annoyance. Holy cow! What a cow! It's gigantic, and it just took out a motorbike.
Who needs bulldozers when you have a bull?
Avoid all the motorbikes, and we eventually reach the factory. And so does Red, apparently. Could he not have brought me here himself?
Miracles happen every single day. They do. We're dead.
No thanks to you and your unnecessary carbon emissions, Mr. Uneconomical.
Oh no, the minis have messed with the milk chocolate. We're in big trouble.
The minis have messed with the milk chocolate. You are in big trouble.
Okay, so yeah, this is it. This is it. Are you even breathing? Jesus Christ, blink your eyes or something. As you can see, there are no idle animations. It's genuinely unsettling. Like, there are times during the game where you can stand stock still, and if it weren't for the occasional enemy or conveyor in the background, you would think the game has crashed. I mean, look at this. I haven't paused this. See, there's proof. Throughout the game, Yellow just looks like he's lost the will to live.
He's an empty shell.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about attacking. Yellow can spin at enemy robots to defeat them. I mean, he can't spin at all enemies, but most of them. The problem is, they don't tell you which ones you can or can't spin at. Some can be vanquished in a single hit, while trying the same move on some others sees you instantly killed.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, and you hear that? That is the one and only death noise. I'm not even kidding. Fall into a pit?
Oops. Uh-oh.
Get electrocuted?
Oops. Uh-oh.
Drown in a vat of chocolate?
Oops. Uh-oh.
It's actually hilarious.
I think you could do with some death noise training from a professional. Show him how it's done, Lightyear.
Seriously though, this guy is a machine. He can destroy robots in one hit with his bare hands. And yet he drops dead when he just slips over slightly.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, and yes, chocolate does indeed kill you.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Okay, so a vat of chocolate might be enough to drown Yellow, sure. But seriously, all you have to do is touch a drop of chocolate on the floor and...
Oops. Uh-oh.
That's it. Game over. It makes no sense at all, considering you're partly made of chocolate yourself. Many of the hazards are frankly bizarre.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Like, what killed me here? No, really, what happened? Did my character just drop dead for no reason?
Maybe you just couldn't take this terrible game any longer.
Anyway, I'm digressing. As you can probably tell, this is essentially a very basic Crash Bandicoot ripoff, only much, much worse. The spin doesn't even work sometimes. It's hard to show you what I mean, but on occasions I was constantly pressing the spin button and he wasn't even reacting at all. Like here, I swear to you, I was pressing the spin button constantly. Spin, damn it! Spin! This first level in the factory sees you explore the milk chocolate room, which is in disarray thanks to the Minis' misbehavior, and not some fat child blocking the pipes for 4 sodding levels. I guess the situation could be worse, eh? Okay, so let's talk about the crates for a second. One color crate I didn't mention is brown crates. These usually contain power-ups to help you, including a hard hat, which protects you from getting hit just once. It's a little problematic though, as despite being invulnerable, you're often sent flailing around and into some other danger.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Thanks, great. Fat lot of use that was. There's also a super jump spring, which is kind of neat, but it would be much neater if I didn't disappear off camera all the time. Go back, please. Some of the power-ups are just plain terrible, though. For example, the pointless running shoes, which make Yellow run at 3 or 4 times his regular speed. For no reason? Not once in the game are you ever timed. I mean, considering this place is full of hazards, this is more than likely not going to end well. Heck, even the floor kills you occasionally.
Oops. Uh-oh.
You really think I want to run at top speed through this place? Still, they're better power-ups than those in Shrek Treasure Hunt, a game which, let me remind you, grants you the occasional use of a shield for protection, despite the fact nothing hurts you in the first place. Yes, this is an actual thing. The brown crates might also contain pieces of secret formulas, torn apart haphazardly by the minis. If you find all the pieces of a formula, you open a bonus level.
Ooh, I got the secret formula! Oh, this is exciting! I can't wait! Still pumped!
Well, this is underwhelming. This bonus level sees you cross the railway to the other side of the factory, bouncing on crates to avoid the train, which kills you.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, and don't even think of crossing the rails by foot, because that also, of course, kills you.
Oops. Uh-oh.
This game!
And this bonus level goes on for an oddly long time for some reason. I'm not kidding, this is longer than some of the main levels. It just keeps going and going and going. It just doesn't seem to end.
Can't I just take the train? Although if it's anything like West Midlands Railway, it'll probably take longer.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you die in the bonus levels, it doesn't have any impact on the main game. But any lives you do earn during these levels are added to the lives in the main game, which is a nice idea, and also means that these bonus levels, boring as they may be, do serve some purpose, even if I already have more than enough lives already. We then reach the chocolate level boss, which requires you to stand under the chocolate drops and lure the robot into the path of dripping chocolates. If chocolate's all that's needed to destroy the chocolate robots, perhaps the chocolate robot should not be working in the chocolate room. We then get a completely unrelated cutscene in which Yellow has to explain himself to the big boss's security camera. It's of no consequence or relevance to the narrative, nor is it remotely funny. So, yeah, that was pointless. On another note, I just love how seamless these cutscenes are.
I mean, just take a look at the game and then look at the clip. You just don't know where the game ends and the clip begins. It's just beautiful!
Next, we need to explore the chutes, which becomes extremely irritating as we need to make our way along some conveyor belts, and the physics are just terrible. To begin with, Yellow doesn't even move at the same rate as the other items on the conveyor. In fact, sometimes he appears to move backwards. I mean, how do you screw that up exactly? And if you need to jump, he'll still be moving with the momentum of the conveyor, meaning it's sometimes near impossible to land where you want to, which is a fatal flaw considering the floor apparently kills you here.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Everything else does. Why the hell not?
One thing I neglected to mention is that there are also red bomb crates and dangerous green crates. Now, why does this sound familiar? I wonder. Red crates can be touched, but it will give you 3 seconds to run away before it explodes, whereas the green crates explode on impact. One wonders why such crates are present in the first place. I mean, what purpose could they possibly serve? Anyway, it looks as though we found another formula, which means another bonus level.
I sure hope it's just as thrilling as the last one.
Well, that looks very promising.
He's looking how we're all feeling.
What am I doing? With no warning, this is a chase level apparently. I don't know why I'm running or what I'm running from, but they don't look very nice. Phew, they're gone. Wait, what? What's that? No, really, what the hell is that? Keep running, Yellow. I don't know what it is, but I'm not taking any chances. Everything kills you here. So anyway, once this bizarre bonus level is over, we return to the last of the shoot levels, and oh, not him again.
Will you just leave me alone? This is harassment in the workplace.
There's a twist here, however. Here you need to activate the red bomb crates to defeat him. And that's it. Yeah, this level is actually much shorter and far easier than that bonus level we just played. I love that there's no explanation as to who any of these bosses are. In fact, there's no explanation as to what any of the robots are for. I mean, why are they there, really? Anyway, once this is over, Red delivers an important memo to Yellow.
Ow. Memo. Get things under control now, or we're sending in Green to finish the job. Green.
Another thing I neglected to mention so far is that this game actually started life as a mathematics game for kids. No, really. As if the concept of an M&ms video game wasn't bizarre enough. While the original PC game, The Lost Formulas, contained math zones, this game ditches the whole maths thing, which is all for the better, I think.
I didn't come here to learn, goddammit. How dare something as mind-numbing as you try to teach me things?
What confuses me though is that the reverse of the case for this game refers to a surfing level. Now it's quite possible that I simply never found it, but I unlocked so many bonus levels and there doesn't seem to be a surfing level here.
Frankly, I'm disappointed. I mean, can you imagine how awful it would have been? We missed out, guys.
But oddly enough, the original game The Lost Formulas does contain a surfing level, which leads me to believe maybe they just copied and pasted the blurb verbatim, which is in itself so lazy that it fits perfectly with the half-assed aesthetic of the game. The next room that requires our attention is the candy coating room.
Hey, Red, this reminds me of the time we were shooting a commercial outside that paint store, and the paint cans blew up, and we flew half a mile into a garbage truck, and the...
Yeah. Thanks for that do-si-do down memory lane.
It's like watching a sitcom without the jokes. It's like The Big Bang Theory. I'm just joking, of course. It's not that bad.
I feel you, buddy. I feel you. Here we need to avoid the candy cannons and colorings as we just walk somewhere, I guess. There are so many obstacles here, including several obstacles that don't even look like obstacles.
Oops. Uh-oh.
He keels over by just touching the slightest thing. It could be a professional footballer.
The camera here is particularly terrible. The amount of times I disappeared off screen was insane. At one point I went off screen and randomly died.
Oops. Uh-oh.
I don't even know what I did wrong. Power-ups are also annoying here. I managed to obtain those god-awful running shoes twice, but with all the obstacles around, they're more of a drawback than an asset. Oh, and lucky me, I got the formula again. For this bonus level, I'm in a rocket ship in space, apparently, with, chickens. Yeah, I had to watch my game capture footage back to make sure this wasn't a fever dream. Seriously, this is the strangest out-of-context level in the entire game. Why would you think it would be okay to drive a rocket ship when you can barely walk 10 steps without collapsing? Okay, so either I'm getting used to the terrible controls, or this isn't nearly as bad as what it could have been. It wasn't really all that enjoyable, but I managed to make it to the end, which is something. Although I have no idea where I was actually going.
Well, that was weird.
The next level, believe it or not, is even worse than the last. Why the hell does the camera follow you so closely? I can't even see myself. Oh, Jesus Christ, not another formula! I don't want it, piss off!
Why am I being punished for being good at this game?
Oh, not that bloody train level again! Come on, gotta time this right. Wait. Now!
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, for fuck's sake. The final part of the candy coating level sees you having to lure a flying robot underneath the dripping candy. So it's essentially just like the chocolate one, only a little more difficult as the candy drips quicker and each platform causes it to drip. I actually don't even know why we have to do this, considering we already passed the area where the next cutscene happens. Actually, that raises a good point. Why are we fighting any of the robots? I thought we were meant to be fixing the place, so why are we destroying all the remaining working machinery? I don't get it. Why have I been sent to fix the place when I'm a walking catastrophe? Anyway, we then meet Green.
Green.
Where are your hard hats?
I have an unusually hard shell.
Ooh, you dirty flirt!
What signifiers can we apply to make a green M&M look like a woman? I know, let's give her big fluttery eyelashes and sexy legs.
I would say I'm feeling sexually confused right now. Only I have the hots for that sexy peanut.
Hot stuff coming through.
It was at this point in the game I started to question why they all have flesh-coloured limbs, and then started to ponder whether they were supposed to be some kind of human candy hybrid, which is disturbing as hell, but it also means this TV ad makes more sense.
You were gonna eat him without me, weren't you?
Now the biting makes sense.
Well, that was highly inappropriate. I'm thinking too much about this, clearly. So anyway, Green then decides to time our performance, for some reason.
Whoa! To be continued.
Naturally, you'd think this would result in the application of a time limit. Nope. Nope. It's just more of the same old shit.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, great. Another formula. I swear to God, if it's that bloody train level again. Oh my bloody God! No! No. 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 Not doing it. No. Back to the menu. Wait, what? I just finished this level. You're joking. I have to do it again? Indeed, if you quit the bonus level, you have to replay the last level you just completed before progressing. And not only that, you lose all the lives you accumulated over the course of the game. So, yeah, that was pointless.
Wait, you're telling me all that time I spent on that train level was all for naught?
Everybody hurt.
This time I'm gonna purposely not get the formula, which, believe it or not, seems somehow harder to accomplish. Don't worry, mate. Not long now. Hopefully. Ooh, look, a secret teleporter. I just love the lack of any animation here. Like, there was just no reaction from Yellow at all. He's clearly just dead inside, and who could blame him, really?
At this stage, I think we all are.
Much of this level is just waiting for some slow platforms to move. Thrilling. Maneuver through the conveyor of dangerous crates, and we eventually reach...
Ah, what the hell is that? This game is cursed.
After evading this thing, the next level sees us arrive at the place where all the M&ms get packed into crates. So, you know, gripping stuff. I don't really have many major issues with this level besides its dodgy platforming, and it is really dodgy.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Oh, come on, I made that. Be nice.
There are some enemies you cannot defeat and merely have to avoid, but it's mostly the same old stuff.
Oops. Uh-oh.
How the hell was I supposed to avoid that? Oh, but then again, there are these enemies, who I had no problem eliminating before, who are now completely invulnerable to my attacks. Instead, as soon as I touch them, I drop dead instantly.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Because that's fair. Overall, this is pretty mundane, it's just more of the same. But I've high hopes for the boss. Just listen to this music.
Yeah! Rock and roll!
Seriously though, this is boss music? This is terrible. Can you imagine this being played during Shadow of the Colossus? Epic. To be honest though, the music sets the tone, as the boss in this level is also hilariously low-key. It's so mundane, I don't even think I can call it a boss level. You literally just have to ride a slow trolley to the end of the course, and step on the matching buttons to elevate it over oncoming dangerous crates. Ironically, the biggest killer in this level isn't the explosives, it's the unmitigated boredom. Next, Green decides to test our skills driving a forklift.
Yay, another driving level! You know, because the last one was just so good.
This is just horrific. There's so much to avoid, you're bound to crash a number of times. It doesn't help that when they respawn you, they often crash you immediately, and it's not even your fault. Like, what the hell, game? Give me a sporting chance. I don't actually understand the purpose of these platforms shifting left and right. Even if you miss it, it's practically impossible to fall. The forklift just kind of bounces back up again. I don't know what's going on anymore. The formulas here are extremely awkward to obtain because the crates are situated in tight spots that require some skilled swerving that the forklift is barely capable of performing.
Looks like there's no bonus level for me. Gosh darn it.
The boss section sees you having to avoid falling crates knocked to the ground by this thing. It's essentially more of the same. Simply avoid all the crates and eventually the thing runs into a pile of dangerous crates itself. Well, that was stupid. After this, Yellow stops his forklift. I mean, I don't understand why he didn't do this 2 or 3 levels ago, but never mind. The last level is arguably the absolute worst. The minis have infiltrated the factory's power system, and it's your job to walk somewhere again, I guess. This level is especially annoying due to the electric currents that, believe it or not, kill you.
Oops. Uh-oh.
I mean, are you shocked?
The first part isn't too bad, just a little irritating. Most of this level sees you having to wait for the electric currents to stop before progressing. It's not too bad, but there are notably more obstacles than usual. But the next part, oh my god, this is painful. It just feels like everything kills you. There are so many moving platforms, electrical robots, etc. It's just exhausting. And don't get me started on the platforming. The momentum of many of the moving platforms constantly makes you miss your target.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Make sure you've got a lot of lives by this point, or you might not survive until the end.
And what a tragedy that would be.
Speaking of which, the final boss is also pretty tragic. It simply requires you to jump on buttons to electrocute him, but you need to jump off the platforms pretty quickly before you get electrocuted yourself. Reaching the exit without getting electrocuted is a surprisingly hard task. The game then randomly ends aboard a cruise ship, where Red and Yellow are finally enjoying their holiday, only to discover that Yellow has once again left the minis in charge.
You didn't leave the minis in charge of the cruise ship!
Still, the game is over, right? That's more than enough reason to celebrate.
Oops. Uh-oh.
I cannot possibly give this game a higher rating. As you can tell, it's just awful. But that said, it's probably better than you'd expect a game about M&ms to be. No, really. The controls are awful, the graphics are awful. You know what? Everything is awful. But the sad thing is, I've played worse. I'm looking at you, Shrek. At least I think I am. The graphics are so bad, I can barely tell. M&m's Shell Shocked is a bad game, sure, but I won't lie, it could have been much worse. Maybe I've just become desensitized to all these terrible games, but I strangely enjoyed this. It's bad, don't get me wrong, but I kinda got a similar joy out of this as I do out of bad movies. Ultimately though, while you might enjoy this ironically, this game is far from sweet.
Oops. Uh-oh. I can't say I'm shocked. Oops. Uh-oh.